here for my rants, and this is for entertainment purposes only. Yeah, last time we were talking about what? Before that, it was independence and dependency, and then bullying. Last time was about bullying. Today I just said not like major topic. It's just walking down memory lane of I think most of us did the same thing, which is entertaining when we look back at it right now. Um, like we all dreamt of going to the bathroom and then woke up, we have peed on the bed. And whoever said they never did that, that's a lie. Yeah. So for me, I'll say no, every child, most of the actually it's every child. Uh we didn't like being woken up early to go to school. And we always had an excuse when we were being woken up to at least catch some more sleep. Here in Kenya, most of us are woken up early if the school is a distance. And before, right now, we have new rules. They say no school bus should be on the road before 6:30. But our time, um, my first trip was at 5:30, and then that was for the senior classes, 5:30. Then we had 6:30. That was actually my usual time to be picked up. Then we had 7:30, and the last one was about 7:45. Um, so for me, I remember every morning it was a struggle, and it also depended if my mom has woken up earlier. That's when I'll either catch the earlier bus or the after bus. Um, so she used to wake me up, and you know how you're grumpy in the morning, and then she leaves me, goes and tries to prepare my breakfast and all that, and then she'll come back and you're still sleeping, and I'm like, no, I was praying. Yeah, hi, welcome. You can give us the what kind of if you relate to any of the situations I'm saying. Hi Roman. Uh Hi Hasranga. Hi Bryson. Big nose. Yeah, and it's mine. Love it. So yeah, every time she'll wake me up, and then I'll be like, when she goes to the she has woken me up and I'm like grunting, I don't want to wake up. Then she said, I need to find you awake when I come back. She goes to the kitchen, makes breakfast for my dad as he was leaving for work. And then she comes out, are you awake? And I'm like, no, I was praying. And I remember a couple of times I'll hear her footsteps and I'll jump out of the bed and kneel. I wasn't praying, I was asleep kneeling. Uh, then there's also the time you're saying you're looking for the edge of the bed to come out of the bed. So, what excuses did you give when you're being woken up early in the morning to go to school? But with age comes maybe you have a trip. That's when you're excited to wake up early in the morning, and actually, you don't sleep. You sleep like everything is ready, and you try to sleep, no sleep comes. Um, what else? We all, I can say, we can say we all did some games that we did were universal, like hopscotch, but differently. They were different. I see some when you watch American cartoons or movies, and this hopscotch they used to do is actually different from the hopscotch we did with how we drew our steps. Then we had a game called break dance. You say break, break, breaky, dance, and then you jump like opposites. Um, we also had game songs. Like in our school, we had for representation of the different houses, we had three streams. So we had C was yellow, L was red, E was blue. So every house had their own theme songs, and how we had sports like school sports where we all participated, and then you had to represent your house color. Um, then we always had teachers. How do I put this gently? Teachers who always uh, brought their home issues to school. Either they punish you with their anger that they have, misplaced anger. Yeah, for me, I had one slapped me because I sneezed in class, and then had the audacity when I went to pick up my certificate to say that I was a top tier student, I should teach her class, and then pretend that we are friendly. I didn't even pretend. I was like, mm-mm, I cannot teach your class. That's your work. You're being paid for that work, so do it. Uh, then we had, in every school, we always had bullies. And I think bullies were misunderstood somehow, because some of them would do such things for crying out for help because their home situation was a difficult state. Um, Others were just trying to see who can bend to their will, and just trying to, okay, I'll say some of them were trying to fit in, which was the wrong way to go. Can be friendly and still fit in. Then we had cliques. We had the popular people, we had the rich kids, we had the nerds. I don't know where I was fitting because me, I was nearly everywhere. And then for me, instance, we had tall bagger girls, like the tallest girls in the class. We were about five. Yeah. Um, then we had the prettiest, like the couples, the sports crazy people fans, and then the excessively football fanatics. Not just no, the America, that's not football. Football is the one that you're calling soccer. Soccer is not soccer, it's football. Then we had what? The ones with the storytelling. I think also I was fitting there. I was a nerd, I was a tall person, I was in drama, debate, not so much in sports. Sports maybe inter-class competition. Um, and then we had, what did we, noisemakers, the ones who could not keep quiet. I was, and most of the time I was a prefect. So it's just, I remember when I was finishing my primary school, the teacher used to sneak towards, I was sitting at the row on the window side. He'll come out of the staff room, was just next to our class, and walk towards the window at my where I was sitting at the corner, and just watch and observe. He already knows who are the noisemakers, including myself. But I used to spot him very fast when he would walk towards that side. So I'll keep quiet. And everyone is trying, Mommy, you are trying to tell us a story. And I'm like, mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. I pretend like I'm not the one who's talking. And then he comes in the class and then prepares to whoop Sam, not ass, hands. We used to have punishment. In our primary school, we had corporal punishment. Even some secondary still practice it up to date. We had every time we did an exam, we had something called Kamkunji. That was to try to see how you perform. That's why no wonder that school used to perform. I don't know about now. We'll have, after the exams, the grades that you have, you're compared, and then the if you had below B, you'll be punished. The less grades you had, the more punishment you'll have. And you'll go from different departments of subjects. So if you in maths you had an A, or in maths you had a C, so you have 3 strokes. Then if you in English you had an A, no strokes. You go to GHC, which was geography, history, and civics education. If you had maybe B, you have 1 stroke. Yeah. So at least in maths, I never. The part I used to get strokes was Kiswahili. Yes, it's our national language, but damn, how to write it, it's a different story, because the pronunciation is different. The past tense, but past participle tense is different, and how you apply it. Then I see, like, everyone had a mother who'd punish you in public with their eyes. Just one look. One look will just deduce you to know I am in trouble. And then most of us uh, fathers who didn't discipline, but were the children were afraid of naturally. I have never understood that notion. It's kind of weird, or it's just like, and they know that this is the man of the house if he was there. Um, then we had sweets that I wish they can make a comeback right now. If they did, oh, I'll buy them in a jiffy. Lollipops, the ring pops, the ones that look like lipstick pops, those were universal. We had chocolate fudge, which which has made a comeback now as a Moro chocolate is actually chocolate fudge, because it has the caramel. Then we also have the mint chocolate that has made a comeback here in Kenya, even though the taste is not actually there. But yeah, we are a happy camper, the millennials and the previous generations. Um, then having, for Africans, I think not just Africans, even nations, you go to find the cookie package is a sewing machine package. You think you're going to eat cookies because the branding up there is on the top is cookies, and then you open it up and you see all types of threads and needles, and your hope just, yeah, that's where our trust issues began. uh, then also ice cream containers were used for food storage in freezers. You think you're going to have a delicious ice cream, which was rare factor in the house, and then you find it has the traditional food. Yeah. Um, we also had, what did we have? Um, our parents having the same story of their childhood, that we walked long distance to go to school so that you can have a good life. Or I used to perform better, you should pull up your socks and reach my level. Yeah. To this point, when you compare that, that's toxic. But yeah, it made us like be the upright citizens that you see right now. We we would, I think, okay, for now, from different parents, they say the generation that is growing right now, the kids are not being they're being more of a talk to generation and have an understanding than us being beaten and you don't know why you're being beaten. um Hi, bad cult. I'm from Kenya. Where are you from? So yeah, we have similarities in how we grew up and how we saw life at that time. For us, oh, welcome every Tuesdays. Uh, does it have does it have a different impact with how we were brought up and how it is right now? Yes, of course, because right now when you see a kid throwing their tantrums, actually in malls, you just look at them and just give me 1 minute, just one with the kid. Um, the topic is about things that we all have done in our life that are nearly similar to other people in different parts of the world, that are universal. Ooh, how were you raised? Were you raised with strict parents? How was your schooling? Did you have a bully? Did you have um what else did we talk about? Did you have sports that brought you together? Things of that sort. And how, when you're woken up in the morning, how did you react so that you can go to school? Were you grumpy? Did you give excuses? Like my example was, I used to, my go to excuse was, um, I'm praying and I was asleep. Oh, another one. How many of you have forged your parents' signature on school reports and homeworks? Here in Kenya, we used to, okay, different school had different methods of how they did their things. Ours, your homework, where you finish, if you finished your homework, below it, your parents should sign so that the teacher can confirm you did your homework at home. Then if you did it at school the previous day when it was given, and then you went with it home, had it signed, brought it back, that was not an issue. For me, yeah, that's why I say I'm a nerd. I used to do my homework in school. Like break time, we had 2 breaks, actually 3. The morning break, if the morning lessons were done, I'll do the homework at those breaks, and lunchtime, and then the evening break. And before the bus came to pick us up, I'll finish the homework. So when I used to go home, maybe the evening homework, I'll do it at home. But I could not forge my parents' signature. For one, my mother's signature was complex. My dad's signature was long and complex. And I could not, you know, how when we were younger, our signatures were perfect. Now we are older, you cannot redo the same signature you did when you were young. Because even now, when you do your signatures twice, it's not the same. I have never gotten that notion why. But when we were younger, we did have nice signatures. And I could not forge it because of those 2 reasons. One, complex signatures. Two, different, and I could not master it. The others, there are people who mastered the parent signature. I remember in primary school when we used to exchange books to mark, and then you see the signature and you're like, are you sure that's your parent's signature? And then I know I did the homework this morning in class. And then it was signed. That's why I say right now, those kind of behaviors has taught people to be fraudsters out here to date. So yeah, I didn't sign. I couldn't. And my mom was diligent in checking our homeworks. How my brother escaped that, I have no idea. But for me, she checked every homework I did. Right now, it's my sister that she's pushing, but yeah, it's a struggle. But that's why we say firstborns experience everything firsthand. So the rest ones, our parents become lenient, but the hardness is on the firstborn's child and experience and all that. Um, so signature, morning grumpiness and excuses. Ooh, and the other excuses that we used to hear, that my dog ate my homework because people didn't do their homework. I have heard those excuses. There's one I had the classmate say that his brother tore up his homework, his younger brother. Hey, the excuses one can come up with on site is crazy. Um, then also, to avoid being stroked, having stroked, they'll say, I'm allergic to strokes. Yeah. But for me, I was allergic to slaps, for sure. Because I remember there's one time I was slapped and I think I had a concussion because I immediately nausea happened. Now, and now when I see some of the stories that teachers have um, beaten students, there's one story that I saw last week that a child was pinched by her teacher until her skin opened up. And I was like, wow, that's extreme. As we used to have the strokes, you have our teachers used to beat us with gas pipes. We should have reported them back then. But our parents were like, yeah, yeah, we have given you permission to teach our children manners. Uh, I remember there's one teacher who used to put a stick between the gas pipe, so the stroke will, you'll hear the pain of the gas pipe and the stick. There's one who used to have a whip. Yeah. Others will use rulers and hit our backhands. And yeah, that's how most of African schools were. Right now, it's a different story. Corporal punishment was banned in schools. So, so yeah, and then it was different. When you're in primary school, the beating was the one that was used mostly. When you go to high school, you'll be given punishment. The first punishment I had in high school was to wash a cow shed. I smelled like biogas in class. Uh, the second one was to uproot an acacia tree, and those roots ran deep. And then you've been given like 5 stumps to uproot. So like a whole week you're not in class, but uprooting the stumps, and then you'll have blisters on your hands. I did 3, and I was like, I'm not doing it anymore. I went back to class. My parent is paying school fees, so why am I supposed to be outside uprooting things? Well, while the school has a groundsman. Mhm. In our high school, there was also a punishment if you're found floricking during functions when other schools visited. Our deputy had the habit of giving us punishment to go and dig out the queen termite in front of other schools. You've We have heard of other schools being, also in our school, if the punishment you'll be given was to dig up a hole to plant banana trees, and which you're told that the size should fit your whole body. Like when you stand inside the hole, you disappear, and your hand, when you stretch out your hand, that's the hole you're supposed to dig. At least I didn't do that one. The other punishment I remember used to be told to carry cow dung to the farm from where the cow shed is. It was a quite a distance, and you're using your own bucket, your showering bucket, to do so. That was in our school. In other schools, you'll hear different types of punishments according to where the school is. You'll find other schools you're told to fetch water from a stream, and yet the pail of the bucket is has a hole, so you're told to fill up another drum. You carry that water back and forth. That's Kenya. That's why sometimes when you see us as adults, some of us have gone through it a lot. And even don't be shocked with how many people have run away from schools so that their parents can change their school because of the punishment that is in that school. Then you'll hear stories of private schools. They don't have punishments, they just have timeouts. Yeah. So that's the difference. Public school and private school, totally different thing. But also I'll say for public school, it builds character. Even though the punishments we have done them, we learned not to do such things through that. I'm not saying it's the right way to do it, but we learned from our side. Um, Bad cult, you say, I'm sorry. Okay, thank you. But we already lived it. We became better people. It's crazy, yeah. That's extreme. Oh yeah, it is. Um, you'll find once, I remember one girl, we were given that punishment of uprooting the acacia tree. She said she went to the office and said, I'm not doing it. You can expel me for all that I care. I'm not doing it. And that's a choice. So then the parent had to pay a fine to the school because she was caught in red-handed doing whatever she was doing. And now she's opposing that. So the parents, so to allow the child to continue her studies, she had to comply with the paying the fine. Um, but before paying the fine, she was still suspended again. So she went home. She was actually my classmate, yeah. But different stream. So yeah, I don't know how do okay, that was, and mind you, those are boarding schools. Um Day schools have different punishment because they have limit time between 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Um, for them, maybe just you'll find even corporal punishment is happening again. But some boarding schools for boys is actually where the corporal punishment has been done and still been doing continuously. It's still continuously happening. Just the like beginning of this year, some schools, boys schools, striked boarding schools because of that. It's funny, they strike because they're being beaten at school because of not following rules. When they come home, the parents say, because you we used to have this saying in our school, you came into this school alone and you'll go home alone. You might think you're doing things together, but you'll find, well, you leave that school gate, everyone is going home to their specific home and explain why they did something. Yeah, but if you cannot handle it, do like some of them, tell your parents. But some parents are rigid. If you tell them that you don't want that school, that's when they push it further and say, no, you're staying there. I want to see what is bothering you with that school. But other parents are compliant and When you tell them no, they listen. Maybe also for your well-being and mental health, they move you from that school. Yeah, I think that's it for today. Today, it's funny. Is it universals? Maybe for boarding schools. The prayer thing, the early grumpiness, that's universal. The peeing in the bed while you dream about peeing in the washroom, that's universal. Forging signatures, I've heard it's universal. I didn't do it, so not for me. Uh, yeah, but having games and interacting and having fun, that's universal. Bullying, that happens, but like I said, either they're misunderstood or they are attention seekers or crying out for help or just trying to fit in, which is the wrong way to go. You can never fit in when you're doing something oppressing others, even in the internet. When you become a bully, you're just putting yourself down. Simple. I remember my first live. Some people just decided to speak on, not even speak on, be racist towards me because I'm African, I'm black, and I love it. It's my skin color. And I told them, if that's how you think, I am not responsible for your thought process. That's on you. And hate is, it's taught. It's not within us. Like it's we don't get brought into this world with hate. So that's their own prerogative. And that's all for today. Thanks for joining me. Thank you for all those who commented. Join me next Tuesday. I'm still working on my music. I've already recorded some. I'm doing the editing. I like being in the zone, listening back and forth, editing and making it sound good, even though it's not auto tune. Others, bye bye. Bye bye bye.